just bought a boatload of Onyx protocol. Ticker symbol is XCN, and the reason why is because you guys have been trying to get this asset on my radar for a number of months. So, took a couple days this week, decided to look into the project, and I'll tell you, quite impressed. Quite impressed, but I do have questions. So, in this video, we're going to break it all down. We're going to talk about what Onyx protocol is, what it does. We're going to look at some recent news and price action. And then at the end, I'm going to give my prediction about where I think this project is going to go. You're watching DHN. It's time to talk crypto. So what is the Onyx protocol? Well, I found out that the asset's been around for a while. It was founded in 2014 by Mr. Adam Ludwin. Now, their initial funding round was pretty much catered to by some big names. They secured $40 million in funding from players such as Pantera Capital, NASDAQ, Visa, and Citigroup. Now, the protocol itself operates as a decentralized platform that facilitates peer-to-peer money market lending protocols on the Ethereum blockchain. So this is an ERC20 token. With that, it is compatible with other versions or token standards on Ethereum. So we're talking 721 and 1155. They also use smart contracts for the majority of their functions, as does most ERC20 tokens. The difference though, and this is something that we'll hit on later in the video when we discuss their relationship with Stellar Lumens, they actually make use of a cloud-based API infrastructure. Now, you guys know I have been going crazy about APIs and payment coins because of the ISO discussion and several other ways that large financial institutions are looking to integrate crypto. The projects with APIs as a focus, definitely going to be valuable. Now, in their white paper, they compared this protocol to other lending protocols in the space like Ave and Compound. Now, with Ave and Compound, where they have a weakness is the fact that when you go to use an Ethereum asset, you only have the option of NFT or token. With Onyx, they're kind of universal in the sense that you can provide both tokens and NFTs. That's an interesting element, something that is definitely going to make it stand out. Now, I have my personal feelings about Compound. I, had a bad experience using the platform. Albeit I was a rookie in crypto at the time, I lost a couple of dollars. Outside of that, I pretty much believe the technology is stolen, but that's a whole different discussion. If this project is leaning in the direction of an Ave, which is another project we talk about a lot on this channel, then yeah, there is definitely some major potential here, okay? If you just take a look at what Ave started out as and what they are now, just using DeFi lending as their core operation, yeah, definitely some potential with Onyx as far as that aspect goes. I brought it up a second ago that they had a relationship with Stellar Lumens. As a matter of fact, one of you all commented that it was a fork, so that really piqued my interest. Well, what actually happened is that before it was called Onyx Protocol, this token was known as Chain, and in 2018, the Stellar Development Foundation bought Chain. This was used, sources say that they used about 500 million in XLM to make this purchase. Now, there was a point in time in Stellar's history where they went from 100 billion max supply down to the 55 billion. What they used that 45 billion XLM for was to invest in projects and develop the ecosystem. Some of the money ended up coming back. Some of the money ended up not being used at all. It was a whole thing, but Stellar has gotten past it. I'm assuming that this purchase was one of those because in 2021, they end up selling it. And then we now have the Onyx protocol that we are familiar with today. So very interesting relationship there, but it was from that moment where Chain was actually a cloud-based blockchain type of platform. So when we mentioned about the API cloud architecture earlier for interoperability, you can say that during their time with the Stellar Development Foundation, there could have been added work there. There definitely could have been an exchange of ideas. So very interesting relationship with XLM for XCN. Adding to our list, our roster of X coins, ladies and gentlemen. But After that, I went and took a look at their roadmap. Now, they've completed most of the objectives that they have listed according to the white paper. And another thing too, even though the company that's developing the chain has been around since 2014, on most price charts, it only goes back to about 2021 and 2022. So we're looking at a fairly young asset, a fairly young ecosystem. Just keep that in mind. But they've completed the majority of the goals on their roadmap thus far. One that has my interest is the real world assets use case. They plan on incorporating hard assets like real estate and other forms of financial instruments. If they decide to get into precious metals, then we're talking about tokenization, and we all know how big tokenization is going to be. So something that was something that really stood out to me, alongside the multi-chain lending that they look to incorporate very soon. This is basically deploying the Onyx protocol to even more blockchains. So in a world of interoperability, we know that's going to be very important. So fundamentally, here's my evaluation. Being an open, decentralized platform with one simple interface that can jump across multiple chains without a bridge is definitely a huge advantage. DeFi being as big of a market as it is, there's not that many lending protocols that are trusted, right? Onyx has an opportunity there. However, with it being based on Ethereum, there may be scalability issues, and then we also have to deal with the gas fees. An interesting way that they're addressing that, though, is something called a gas back program. Like cash back, but it's gas back. After a certain amount of time, I believe it's every week or every month, the Onyx protocol returns the gas fees spent by users back to their accounts. That's cool. Okay, that's very cool. And lastly, the only threat I could possibly see to this network is maybe competition from other up-and-coming lending protocols, because it makes me think about projects like Clever and their KFI token, Clever Finance, and then you also have VVS Finance, okay, which offers the same type of functionality, and it's sitting on crypto.com. So once we get into the bull cycle again, we're like really good. And even now, if you look at DeFi Llama, you'll start to notice numbers are slowly ticking up. DeFi platforms tend to perform very well in a bull run because people are trying to maximize their gains. That's going to be another advantage to them. As long as they maintain their focus and keep going, yeah, I'm definitely optimistic about the project. Let's jump into the numbers a little bit here. We have a $30 million market cap, fully diluted sits at around 60 million. A fully diluted market cap is just basically the valuation of all the tokens of the supply. Max supply being 53 billion XCN and 24 billion are in circulation. We have an all-time high of 18 cents. This was set in May of last year. Yes, it's down about 99% from its all-time high, but I don't personally see that as a bad thing, because it'd be a thing if the price tanked and on-chain activity also tanked. That's the advantage here. Onyx is still maintaining on-chain activity, which is a good sign. And then there's also a BNB contract address that, to my knowledge, has not been used yet. So there hasn't been an XCN listing for Binance. I'm sure once they deal with all of this regulatory issues, I hear Belgium is now looking into them, but once they get past these things right now presently, I think they will add more tokens, and XCN may be in that next round. So look out for that. And then, like I mentioned earlier too, 2022 was the worst year on record for DeFi. Period. Any protocol. And then you have to think about too, the nature of the businesses that were collapsing in 2022 made DeFi and lending a very risky business. So you can really look at that price activity from 2022 as kind of not being entirely their fault. So price prediction though, by 2025, here's what I'm seeing. Because I believe that a lot of these assets are going to recover to their previous all-time highs and then set new all-time highs as we get to the end of 2025. So by the end of 2025 for Onyx protocol, I'm going to go out on a limb here and just give it a 33 cent price point. 33 cents by 2025, and I got a couple of reasons why. I discovered that they have also gotten investment from LDA Capital, another $40 million. This was more recently, and that money is specifically going to be used to improve their current lending protocol. And Coinbase also seems to be very interested in this asset. XCN is available through all of their product offerings, both in the US and internationally. So that's a major player to have in your pocket, especially for custody reasons. And then on an institutional level, Ethereum itself is leading the charge. All right. Now, we are still in that period of moving to proof of stake and scalability and speed and all of that. But it appears that institutions like the Bank of China, the US government, the European government, Australian government, the Brazilian government, a lot of governments like Ethereum. So if that's the case, then you can also say that the DeFi and lending protocols built on Ethereum that may be easier to access are also going to benefit from this, from Ethereum's position in the market. So very interesting project this Onyx protocol is. So I want to ask you, should you buy it? Do you think this asset is a buy? I want to know your answer, because I feel like if we have a general consensus in the comments, when other people come and watch this video, they can just, scroll on down. They ain't even got to pay attention to you, boy. They can just scroll on down and get the general consensus and help make a decision, right? That's how we build. That's how we grow. We do it together. That's why I love this community, guys. But that's all I got for this one. Real simple, easy video. Onyx protocol. Just bought a boatload. I'm going on your guys' word here, okay? That you guys don't really get at me about projects unless there's something there. Last time this community mentioned a project to me, it was eGold. And this is when eGold was about $1.50, $1.75. eGold has stayed above $40 to $55 in the last year and a half. I missed that one. I'm not missing XCN. So with that being said, that's all I got for you. If you found value in the content, there's a couple things I need you to do for me. Hit that like, subscribe, ring the notification bell so that way you don't miss the next one. And as always, I want you to have a great day. Have a prosperous day. And most importantly, if that money is digital, so is the hustle. I'm Wade Teamer, and I'll see you in the next one.